already drawn, so they're just gonna have to do that shit over. I think it was a scheme so they could have a rematch anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that was the whole thing, so they could do the rematch anyway, because you can't, you gotta beat
The highly anticipated rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach is officially set after the New York State Athletic Commission issued its final ruling on their controversial fight. The decision has ignited intense debates across the boxing world, with fans divided on whether true justice was served.
Oh, the mental breakdown of Tank. Like, again, if you got that elite level why you know what you saw. He was intimidated by Roach, and it was like baffling to see. Why was he moving? Because to me, he was intimidated by Roach.
The NYSAC has upheld the original majority draw decision despite admitting referee Steve Willis made errors in the 9th round. Willis began a count, but inexplicably stopped midway, allowing Davis to return to his corner, where his team illegally wiped his face before the round resumed. This should have led to a disqualification, yet Davis retained his undefeated record. The commission acknowledged that the correct call was a knockdown, but defended its ruling by stating the referee's discretion is final.
Right, man, these boys fought almost a week ago. It ain't been a week yet, but Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, man, it was a draw. But Davis is talking about fighting again in May. Davis, I don't think you want.
Pass me to M-Man. The boys fought almost a week ago. Well, not quite. But Gervonta Davis and Lamont. Roach ended in a draw. Now Davis is already talking about fighting again in May. My guy, are you sure about that? Many fans and fighters believe Roach was robbed of what could have been the biggest win of his career. Even Canelo Alvarez didn't hold back, saying, he took a knee, he should have lost that round 10-8 at least. And his corner ran in and wiped his face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm just talking about the rules. Canelo's words echo what many already believe. Davis got special treatment, protected by officials unwilling to tarnish his undefeated record.
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification. For sure. I'm talking about the rules, but you know, it's not.
Roach took to social media to express his frustration while staying composed. Look, man, I'll tell y'all straight up. I didn't sue anybody. My team filed an appeal on my behalf. What kind of team wouldn't step up when they know something was wrong? They had my back, so all that lawsuit talk? Y'all can put that to rest, and he posted on X. He acknowledged he never expected the decision to be overturned, but made one thing clear. Everyone knows I won that fight, and I'm satisfied with that.
Fighter, but no, in the corner too. He did tell me, he said he probably gonna come out a little harder the next round. They probably told him something. And then I guess when you go back and watch it, they did give him a little like.
Part 2 on the way, and just like that, the rematch is officially in motion. The WBA wasted no time ordering an immediate rematch, which Davis surprisingly welcomed. He even claimed he'd be ready as early as May. But let's be real, does he really want this fight again? The way he looked in the ring, gassed and struggling against Roach's relentless pressure, tells a different story. Boxing politics are in full effect here, keeping Davis's undefeated record intact despite a controversial fight benefits promoters, networks, and sanctioning bodies that profit from his star power. Imagine the financial hit if Roach had handed Davis a loss. Ticket sales, pay-per-view numbers, and major fights would all take a dive. So did the NYSAC uphold the referee's call because they truly believed it was the right decision? Or were they just protecting their golden goose from taking an L? That's the real question.
Nah, to be honest, I've already made it competitive, for real, to be honest. But for sure, Lamont's a great fighter. He got the skills, like I said before. He got punching power. It was a learned lesson, you know. Shout out to Lamont.
Roach knows what went down that night, and so does Davis. No matter how much Davis tries to play it cool deep down, he knows he was inches away from his first loss. Now he has no choice but to run it back. Roach, on the other hand, has nothing to lose and everything to gain. If he brings the same relentless pressure, but turns it up even more, Davis might not be able to escape this time.
A knockdown, one. So that's why I'm yelling at the referee, like, keep counting, like, you tripping, keep counting. That's a knockdown. Because if y'all didn't notice, he started the count. He started the count.
He did.
And let's talk about Steve Willis, the referee at the center of this storm. He's known for his over-the-top facial expressions during fights, but now his judgment is under serious scrutiny. How do you start a knockdown count, stop midway, and then act like it never happened? And what was he thinking when he allowed Davis's corner to illegally wipe his face? If these were just mistakes, Willis shouldn't be officiating high-stakes fights. But if there was a deeper, more intentional motive at play, then boxing has a far bigger problem than just a bad call.
Was he using the ring to set me up with certain shots or anything?
Davis, of course, remains defiant. His camp insists he was never hurt, didn't deserve to lose a point, and that Roach simply wasn't good enough to beat him decisively. But the footage tells a different story. The knee touched the ground, the count started, and the illegal corner assistance happened. Yet, Davis still walked away with his record intact. How? Much more protection does he need. The rematch is set to be explosive. Roach now carries an even bigger chip on his shoulder. He's not just fighting for a title, he's fighting against a system he believes robbed him. Davis, on the other hand, has the pressure of proving he can beat Roach clean, without controversy.
They're saying that Lamont caught him with a good, left, and then, that's why Tank went ahead and took a knee because he was just trying to spare some time. When I really got a chance to look at it, he really rolled that punch, and if you can see his
fans are already divided on what to expect. Some believe Davis will come out more aggressive, looking to put Roach away early and silence the doubters. Others think Roach has figured him out and will apply even more pressure to expose his weaknesses. Meanwhile, some pros are still backing Tank, calling it nothing more than a bad night. Leading the charge is Jaron Boots Ennis. While the boxing world erupted over the controversial draw, Ennis stayed calm. He didn't buy into the outrage, conspiracy theories, or claims that Davis got special treatment. Instead, he gave credit where he felt it was due, acknowledging that both fighters put on a great performance.
He told him and really take it from him, and I feel as though that Lamont did a great job at that, and he was trying to catch and counter him and things like that, but I don't know. I think he caught Tank off guard a little bit, maybe, but and the Tank wasn't really focused in the corner. He was arguing with Calvin or one of them. I don't know. It's just a lot of things. We don't know what was going on in camp.
In Ennis's eyes, the draw wasn't a robbery. It was simply a great fight. He scored it 115-113 for Davis, but had no issue with the official decision. That's a rare stance in a sport where every close fight turns into a full-blown controversy. Most fighters, trainers, and fans were split into two extremes. Either Roach was robbed, or Davis was unfairly criticized. But Ennis stayed right in the middle, respecting both fighters' performances. Lamont did a great job, actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people are overlooking what Tank was doing in those first 5 or 6 rounds, he explained.
Just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I did watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long will it take?
He wasn't wrong. 2 of the official judges had Davis winning 5 of the first 6 rounds, showing he controlled the early part of the fight. But with all the controversy, no one wanted to talk about that. Instead, all the attention was on the chaotic 9th round, where things got messy. Davis clearly touched the canvas with his knee, and everyone knows what that means. A knockdown.
He caught me with a good shot, but it was times that I sat in there with him and I'm like, damn, this guy super slow. Well, not super slow, but he's slow, and I could have took advantage of. I think I was boxing too much in the beginning, and when I feel like
Ennis didn't deny the controversy. In fact, he admitted outright that the referee should have made the call. But even then, he wasn't quick to cry foul play. He saw 2 possible explanations. Either Davis's superstar status influenced the moment, or the referee simply froze under pressure. Anybody else, they would have called that a knockdown. I didn't know what was going on, Ennis said, hinting at the possibility of special treatment. But in almost the same breath, he offered a more forgiving perspective. Maybe it was just a big moment for the ref. He didn't know what to do. Mistakes happen, things happen, it's boxing at the end of the day.
I'm still rooting with him. I saw all the negativity and people, critics talking, but I think he's one hell of a fighter, and I think he's still the top dog.
People just don't like Tank. He looked sharp to me. People just be talking, Ennis said. And he had a point. Every time Davis fights, there's already a narrative waiting for him. If he wins easily, critics say he cherry-picks opponents. If he struggles, they call him overrated. And now, even in a draw, the energy around him felt like he took an L. That's the cost of being a star in boxing. Fighters like Davis aren't just judged on wins and losses. They're held to an entirely different standard. Expectations are so high that even a close fight becomes a controversy. Ennis saw it for what it was. He wasn't going to pretend Davis looked bad when he clearly controlled the early rounds, but he also wasn't about to dismiss Roach's case for the win.
They reversed the result of your fight.
Yeah.
Should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
It just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right? To keep the integrity of the sport. So I feel like